Most High in Christ. Give me 1 second, Israel. All right. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shema Shah Barakatham. Yahweh Shema Thumba Shema Shah. I'm preaching officer of 5,000 Yadai holding it down till 12 Shield General Mahayaman gets here. General Mahayaman will be in the building. Understand something, man. Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women, we got to realize, man, that now is the time more than ever to come out of that Christian church, come out of that Muslim mosque. You know what I mean? It's so funny, man. General Mahayaman going to go over this later. You know what I mean? When he get here. You know, T.D. Jakes is falling apart, quite as I correct. He on there. He this recent video of him on TikTok, he was tearing up, brother. Tearing up. Talking about everyone making fun of me and what I was saying about how I was swallowed up. Because I got swallowed up. It sounded like he was confessing. Confessing. It sounded like that. And what the general was bringing out was so heavy about it. That's all of your pastors. That's all of your imams. I was looking at Geno Jennings. He was making fun and light of the situation. I'm like, I don't know what you laughing for. You the same way. You the same way, man. All these pastors, all these imams, all of y'all dirt is starting to come out, man. When the Lord said that thy shame shall be seen, the shame of these wicked bastards, man, out here in these churches and in these mosques. That's why it is now. This is the time more than ever to come out of it, because our God did not want us to be integrated in this place. Our God did not want us to be, you know what I mean, all, if I could, and which is so heavy about the scripture you're getting ready to bring out quite a time. Our God wanted us to be separate. One of the worst things that ever happened to our people was integrating into this society. Even Martin Luther King said it, man. He said, I fear I integrated my people into a burning house. You understand? This place is burning down, man. Burning down. Babylon is falling. It's going to rise no more. You better believe that. Understand this. This is the time that we have right now to get right. This is the time right now to stop being a deviant. This is the time right now to put the drugs down. You know what I mean? To get your life together. To keep the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments. To be a better father, brother. To be a better wife. To be a better mother. Be a better sister. And that was the time to get up in the Israelite school of UPK. We've been teaching this since 1969 under commanding General Yahanna. I pray you understand. And let me explain something to you. Our God wants us to be separate from this place. I'm going to show you that in the scripture. And I'm going to show you how evil your pastors and imams are. Now, if I could, give me Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26. Baba Kashar. Abad, get me Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 27. Let me get Leviticus first.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me.
The Lord said, ye shall be holy unto me. What does the word holy mean? I know coming up in that church and that mosque, you think holy is that pastor, that imam with that white robe and gown on. I know you saw T.D. Snakes, Salakia, T.D. Jakes. I know y'all saw T.D. with the purple robe on. He's not holy. Far from it. I pray you understand. Your pastor and your imam, they're not holy. When you look the word holy up, the word holy means to be separate. It means to be set apart. Our God is telling the children of Israel, who are blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, that ye should be holy, meaning separate, set apart unto me. Even when you look at the Bible, it's called the Holy Bible. Meaning this Bible is not for everybody. This Bible is only for the children of Israel. And we are the children of Israel, black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman. For our God said, ye shall be holy unto me, separate, read.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
For I, the Lord, am holy. Meaning the Most High is holy. The Most High is holy. You know what I was looking at too, I saw a lot of oppressors, you know what I mean, that I've been recently seeing on TikTok trying to teach the Bible. There's one famous oppressor. He be out there in them college campuses. I'm like, boy, you need to come out there to where we at. So you can get exposed and get shut down because God does not love everybody. That is nowhere to be found in the Bible. Our God only cares and loves the children of Israel, which is us. He said, for I, the Lord, am holy, meaning the Most High God, Yahweh is his name, is separate, set apart. Read.
Okay. And have severed you from other people.
And have severed you from other people, meaning our God severed us. What does it mean to be severed? If I took, you know what I mean, a sharp object and severed my arm, it'll be no longer attached to my body. Meaning our God severed us from these other nations. And rightfully so. We ain't supposed to all be together, all kumbaya. Like integration was the worst thing that ever happened to our people. We got to understand something. You know, Quadazar, you know this because you know how many slaves in the city. Moab is protesting them bringing the Sixers over there to Chinatown. Right. Now, when I say Moab, TikTok, Moab is the biblical name, Mawa'aba, for the so-called Chinese. The so-called Chinese man and woman, they are, you know what I mean, Moab according to the Bible. Now, they're protesting because they don't want the Sixers to bring a facility into Chinatown. And I was like, well, you look at this. Well, you look at this. You don't want the oppressor to come into your neighborhoods and build something, you know what I mean, that has nothing to do with you. But you get to come in our communities and establish your businesses where you make tens of thousands of dollars. If y'all get a chance, man, tune into Commander Gen.YAHANNA's breakdown on that, man. On Fu Manchu, the model minority. Commander Gen.YAHANNA did a tape on that. That still blew. I was watching earlier, Quadazar, that blows my mind to this day. That exposes Moab, that exposes the Chinese for what they really are. Because all those test scores and them being highly intelligent and all that nonsense, and people like, oh man, you should be like them. They work their way up. That is a lie. America made them the model minority and assisted them in more ways than one. But you know why they're not going to assist us? Because we're the children of Israel. We're the ones that God chose. And our God chose us to be separate. That's why he severed us from other people. It's one thing I admire about these other nations. I brought up Moab. They're standing up. They don't want that to be brought in our neighborhoods. We need to do that as well. We need to say, you know what, Li Cheng, Chun Li, Ryu, you don't need to be in our neighborhoods with these restaurants. Take them back to Chinatown. Take them back to Chinatown. Because let me ask you a question, TikTok. Could we go... Could we go to Chinatown? Could we go to Chinatown and open up a soul food restaurant? We would not get patronized. We wouldn't. We would not. We can't go to Little Italy, Mathum Yard, Quadazar, and open up a pizza shop, open up a pizzeria. We can't do that. Then why should you be allowed to come in our neighborhoods and do this and make tens of thousands of dollars, you know what I mean, off of the backs of our people? And then take it back and build up your nation. Our God was right to say he severed us from other people. Why? Read.
That ye should be mine.
That ye should be mine. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. That ye should be mine, because we belong to the Most High. Right. That is who we belong to. That's why us knowing who we are is everything. And that's why we got to come out of that church, man. That church has destroyed our people. Like TikTok, y'all seeing it. Y'all seeing TD Jakes for what he really is, but we knew who he really was years ago. And we've been trying to tell you. We've been trying to tell all of our people. And you know what really gets me out by, like General Muhammad said this last week on the show. It's like y'all acting like, you know what I mean? This is your first time hearing about him saying, oh, have you ever been swallowed up? He said it in front of you live 95. He said it. You was in the front row. We saw you. You said nothing about it until he was like, hold up, man. Israel catch on a little slow, don't they? Quite the time. You trying to play dumb. You was sitting there in the front row. You knew what he was. You knew exactly what he was. And he's not a man of God. I pray you understand. Caught up in all of his lasciviousness, all his proclivities, TikTok. At the Diddy party. I know what goes on at the Diddy party. That's an unholy affair. You better believe it. An unholy affair. That's why it's important to come out. That's why Christianity is garbage. Because here's the thing, our God said it. First of all, what they call them quite as a power bottom. TikTok, I don't have enough time in the day to explain what that means, but that means that a lascivious brother, a sodomite, if you will. And our God isn't for that. That is all that is in the Christian church. That is all that is in the Muslim mosque. I was looking at everybody. Big shout out to Preaching Officer 1000 Yard Mock. He was exposing the hypocrisy in the Christian church when they was upset with Lil Nas X. And I'm like, wait a minute. How can you be upset with Lil Nas X when you are the ones responsible for him? How do you think? Okay. Most of them, 99.9, really 100% of them, you know what I mean, that are in that alphabet community have been abused when they were young. Where do you think that abuse took place? Didn't always it take place with that uncle or that auntie, you know what I mean, or that brother, that sister in that back room. Most of them took place in that church. That's a rough situation, I that's a rough spot. That's a rough spot. It happened in church. And that's why we gotta get out of church. Things like that don't happen here. I pray you understand. Just like listen, Westfully Believe, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it because they don't want the city or anybody else imposing in their neighborhoods. If you're not Asian, you can't really come up in there and establish yourself. That's how we should be. Why? Because what our God commanded. That's why coming out of that church is everything. And I'm going to show you that Christianity is nonsense. Who got what I asked for in Deuteronomy 4? You got it by Deuteronomy 4, 27, Bubba Kashaw?
This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, and verse 20.
Partizan, give me Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 6. Right on time. Right on time. We got the Christians coming up in the chat, Partizan. Just in time for me to show you that Christianity is not of God. Go ahead, I read what you got.
This book of Deuteronomy 4, verse 27. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations.
The Lord said that he was going to scatter us among the nations. Why do you think you could find a Black or Latino or First Nation man anywhere? Because we disobeyed our God. And in disobeying our God, right, this is what happened to our people. We got scattered all throughout the nations wanting to follow after these heathens. Keep reading. We're in Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 27 and 28. I'm going to show it to you. Go ahead.
And ye shall be left few in number among the heathen.
Lord said we would be left few in number among the heathen. Keep going.
Whether the Lord shall lead you.
Now, whether the Lord shall lead you. Listen, man, that's why you can find brothers and sisters everywhere, man. There's a few brothers and sisters over there in Africa, and guess what? They getting oppressed by the real Black Panther. By Mfutu Ngala. You got brothers over there. You got brothers in Alaska and Russia, freezing their rear ends off. It's a brother in China right now, Fu Manchu himself. Go ahead, Ibad.
Okay. Verse 28. And there ye shall serve other gods.
Woo, and there ye shall serve other gods. Our God said we would serve other gods. What does it mean when you serve other gods? What's them gods the Negroes serve today? I'll tell you. You got brothers that's Buddhist now, Matham Yad and Kwatazah. You got brothers that are in that Egyptology talking about Ra, Akhenaten. They don't want to talk about Geb. They don't want to talk about Geb, and they don't want to talk about Osiris and what they was doing and what Seth was doing. I pray you understand. Listen, Egypt was the first alternative lifestyle metropolis city. Keep reading.
Oh God. And the Lord, and there ye shall serve God, the work of man's hands.
The works of men's hands. Serving other gods, the works of men's hands. So you may not realize this. Let's say you're a Buddhist. Somebody made up Buddha. You expect me to believe, and I don't want to sound condescending, TikTok. I don't want to sound ignorant. But you expect me to believe that a little small Moabite man, you know what I mean, went off a grain of rice a day. You do know that they eat everything, right? They eat pangolin. Raise your hand if you know what a pangolin is. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. You don't even know what a pangolin is. The young children in class looking at me like, what? What is that? I was just like, I didn't know what it was. Picture a hedgehog that's armored or an armadillo. They eat that. And they eat bats. I'm supposed to believe that Did this man achieve enlightenment? No. Let me tell you something about them that you probably didn't know. A lot of them are junkies. A lot of them are. With the opium, they got high one day, and then you saw a fat Moabite, and then they named him Buddha. That's what happened. It's a lot. It's a lot. But the works of men's hands. Same thing with Shiva with the East Indians. Same thing with all the gods of Egypt. The works of men's hands, meaning a man made this god. And I'm getting to the big ones in a second. Keep reading. No, I'm going to get to that question in a second.
Wood and stone.
Wait. So worship gods of also of what?
Wood and stone.
We getting into it now. It says, and there you shall serve gods, the works of men's hands, wood and stone. The wood is that cross that you wear around your neck. The stone is that Kaaba stone that they bow down to in Mecca. So ask yourself this question. Our God said that we would worship gods of wood and stone. Some of you in the comment sections came in branding your crosses. So if Christ was unalive with an AR-15, you wear an AR-15. You see how foolish you look? See how foolish you look? Gods of wood and stone, the works of man's hands. Anything with that stone? That Kaaba stone over there in Mecca, they bow down and kiss and worship a rock. You got to remember, the Arabs used to worship gods of every day of the year. They had a god for all 365 days. They narrowed it down to Allah and Allah's daughters. They don't want to tell you that. That's all throughout the history books. I pray you understand. You can get a book called Satan's Angels Exposed. You can get the book by the brother Rudolph Windsor. He from Babylon to Timbuktu. There's a lot of historical documents, you know what I mean, made on it in books that can back this up, that support it. But the Bible says we would worship gods of wood and stone. Now, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. Ooh-wee. Yes, you do. Yes, you do worship the cross. You do. You absolutely do. You kiss it. You say by the blood. And first of all, Christ wasn't the first and last brother to be crucified. You do understand that that was a modern form of execution. Like that was like being hanged or being hit with a firing squad or getting the chair or getting a lethal injection. You know what I mean? That was a common form of, you know what I mean, execution that the Romans used. Ooh-wee. And you worship it. We worship the Most High. We worship Yahweh. I'm showing you in the Bible, and I said I was, where our God said, and ye shall serve gods, the works of men's hands, wood and stone. And to prove it, when you look at that cross, when you look at that stone, big forms of idolatry is Caesar Borgia, because Christ wasn't an oppressor. Christ was a black man. And then with that stone, you got Allah and you got Muhammad. That's idolatry at its finest. You're worshiping gods of wood and stone. And our God wants us to come out of idolatry. The Lord's name is Yahweh. Christ's name is Yahweh Shai. So like if I made some of these, I know that. We know that. West Philly for Life said, you know, the East Indians go out there and they defecate in the streets. I know. That's what they do. They rough by design. That's why that smell is crazy. And y'all take their hair and put it in your heads, which they get out the sewer. This is what our God said, man. You shall serve gods of wood and stone. Can't do that, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. That's why our God said, for my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. That's Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. That's why it's important that we got to get back to what our God said. Who has Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 6? Let me get that bubble for sure.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 6. My people have been lost sheep.
The Lord said, my people have been lost sheep. We've been lost sheep here, man. Why is the Lord equating us to sheep? Because sheep require a shepherd. And don't be fooled. Christ is that good shepherd. I pray you understand. That's in John the 10th chapter. Christ is that good shepherd. But our people, man, you've been lost sheep. Keep reading.
Their shepherds have caused them to go astray.
Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. Who are those shepherds that caused our people to go astray? T.D. Jakes. Ooh-wee. T.D. Jakes. Swallowed up. Geno Jennings. It's because he talked like this here. Because he sit up there in front of all the congregation. You know, all of them Christian, they don't understood. All of y'all have that Southern accent. All of y'all talk like a preacher from the 1920s. When, guess what? Salvation is not for everybody. It's not. Salvation is only for the children of Israel. That's what's causing us to be led astray. Believing, Shalom Warrior, that we could give our salvation to everybody, and that is not in the Bible. Our God said, man, that my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. Because that pastor told you that anybody can be saved. That's not true. It is not. Christ only gave up his life for blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. In Matthew chapter 1 and verse 21, it says that he shall save his people from their sins. Because blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, we're the only ones that can sin. Because guess what? Sin is transgression of the law. That's 1 John 3 and 4. And the law was only given to the children of Israel. I pray you understand. And then let me cross-examine that. What does the oppressor have to be saved from? You have everything. You're in charge of this place. The scripture says in Job 9 and 24 that the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. What do they need to be saved from? If Christ returned today or tomorrow, what do you think he's coming to? He's coming to the oppressor in his high-rise and skyline buildings? No. Christ is coming for that Latino man and woman at the border. Christ is coming for that Haitian man and woman, that West Indian man and woman, that Native American and Seminole Indian man and woman, and that black man and woman of the Americas. I pray you understand. That's who Christ is coming for. Not everybody. That's why the Lord said, my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray because we followed after these pastors, after these imams. We got caught up in the worst way possible, to where your pastor can stand up and confess to being a lascivious, promiscuous, foul human being. Trying to be nice for TikTok. Trying to be nice. He could get up there and confess it. He can go up there and say, if to come out the closet and come outside. Like, who needs to come out the closet? Like Nathan, we watching the same thing as everybody else. He was coming out the closet. You're going to believe him. When our God spoke against that lifestyle that TD wants to live, our God is against being a power bottom. I pray you understand that. That's punishable by being unalive. Now, the priest ain't going to unalive you today, but there is monkeypox. Ooh-wee. There is them other blood diseases that the Lord can send to get you. Keep reading.
They have turned them away on the mountains.
They have turned them away on the mountain. Well, here's the thing. To answer your question, light of Christ. I didn't insult nothing. You insult Christ. Why? You keep posting the crosses. I just showed you in the Bible that the cross is idolatry. The cross is that wood. That our God, you know what I mean, is not with that wood or that stone. And salvation is not for everybody. Salvation is only for the children of Israel. I pray you understand. We're going to go with the general, going to go more into it. I pray you understand. It says, keep reading. We'll read that again, that last part.
They have turned them away on the mountain.
They have turned them away on the mountain. We've been turned away from our mountain. We've been turned away from Mount Zion. Oh, we've been turned away from Mount Zion. Read.
They have gone up. So they have gone from mountain to hill.
We've gone from mountain to hill to where it's from Zion to the hills of North America. Now we're sitting up here in the oppressor society, thinking that we are free, white, and 21. Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, on behalf of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge and Commander GEN.YAHANNA, I am here to tell you that you are not free, white, and 21. You are not. We've been turned away on the mountain and gone from mountain to hills. I'll walk on y'all. That being said, tip top, I'm passing the class the priest and 12 shield general Mahayaman.
All right, let's get it on, Akim Akwafian. Ready to roll. You get your phone up. Go ahead. Say again, brother. Okay. I appreciate it. No problem. Yes, please. Yeah, I'll just wait for brother. All right, I'll get your say again. No, I'll wait. Okay, good to go. Please, do what? Okay, I'll take the TikTok questions as well. I got my situation back up. Clap it up. I'm getting you this, all right? So I don't jam you. Practicar mi español, all right? Un momento. You said you have questions anyway, right?
The light of Christ on TikTok.
Light of Christ. I'll be right with you, brother. All right. Stand by. Mi nombre es General Mahayaman. Soy tú y estos son los. I'm sorry. Mi nombre es General Mahayaman. Soy tu hermano y estos son los anuncios. Somos la escuela israelita de conocimiento práctico universal. Comenzamos en 1 Oeste Calle 125, Harlem, Nueva York, desde 1969, debajo del comando de el General Yahanna. Carnales, esta es la verdad. Si tú eres latino, negro o indio nativo, tú eres Israel, el pueblo elegido. Dios, tu madre y tu padre dicen que somos un culto y mantienen su iglesia sin culpa. Un momento. Pero su iglesia tiene toda la culpa de lo que nos está pasando. With that, let's continue with the class. Questions?
From Light of Christ on TikTok. You're going to be a breakdown on how salvation is not for everybody.
No problem. Stand by, Light of Christ. Give me Matthew 15 and 24. And give me who salvation is for. The Light of Christ is asking a very important question, man. Really, the most important question that any man, black or Latino man, could ever ask. There is a lie that has spread across the planet from the time of the Renaissance. And that lie, with all of the information, all of the technology, all of the education, you brothers right now in class, you have an education that I did not have when I was young coming up in the truth, simply because information was not as accessible to me as it was to you. We had to go to libraries and sit in the library all day and comb through books to find out things that you brothers and sisters can learn with the push of a finger. With all of that information, with all of the access to knowledge and information that young people have today, the lie about who Jesus Christ died for is still prevalent. It's still strong. The lie about the true identity of blacks and Latinos is still the predominant lie on the planet Earth. It's something that no one knows, even though you could use your fingers in 10 seconds and find out the truth. The Jews here in America are not the people who you believe they are not the imposters that all of us grew up idolizing and praying to God that one day we could live in their neighborhood and date their daughter. The true Jews are the biblical ethnic black people that you see in America. Those are the Jews of the Bible. That's your true ethnicity, man. You're the chosen people of God. The Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans, the Guatemalans, the people scrambling and starving and struggling to get in this country on the southern border every day. Those people who are swimming across the Rio Grande River. Those people whose children cry at night for lack of food as they live on the border of the richest country on the planet Earth. Those people are the chosen people of God, man. The people from Nicaragua, from Honduras, from Guatemala. Those people are the special people, according to God. The people that he loves above all others. This is knowledge that is right at your fingertips. But of course, with that said, this lie is still prevalent, all right? So the brother's asking an important question. I'll give him a few precepts to help enlighten him from here on, all right? Give me what you have, officers.
Matthew chapter 15 and verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent.
Now this is what color is this written in?
Red.
Now, if any of you brothers and sisters that read the Bible, you understand that when you read something written in red in the King James Bible, it means that it's a direct quote from Jesus Christ himself, right? They indicate that by writing his words in red. Now, this is written in red, which indicates what? That Jesus Christ wrote it, that Jesus Christ said it. Everybody understands, right? What did he say again? I'll read one verse above it.
Matthew chapter 15 and verse 23. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, send her away, for she crieth after us.
This was a woman who was not an Israelite, who was trying to get her daughter healed by Jesus Christ. Many of you don't know that Jesus Christ was a black man. I'm not sure if the brother was the light of Christ. What's his name? The light of Christ. I'm not sure if he knows that, man, but Jesus Christ is a black man from the tribe of Judah. All right. Yedai, let me know if I need to switch something up. All right. Okay. This black man was being begged by a so-called oppressor, asking him to heal her daughter. And this was his answer. Go ahead.
But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
That's what Jesus Christ said. I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Jesus Christ died for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's who he was sent to. Listen, every nation has a deliverer or a savior. Mahatma Gandhi is the deliverer for the East Indian people. Before Mahatma Gandhi, the East Indians were in bondage and in oppression under the British Empire. They were being put in jail for simply trying to gain independence, simply trying to make salt. The East Indians went to the ocean, went to the beach to make their own salt. The British Empire came and beat them for simply trying to have independence and having their own salt to put on their own food. Martin Luther King saw that, man, and decided that he would do the same thing in the South to try to get his people free. Mahatma Gandhi's plan worked. Martin Luther King's plan did not work. Do you understand? Because Jesus Christ is our savior, not Martin Luther King. But Mahatma Gandhi saved the East Indians, gave them a land of their own, right? Gave them a land so they could have their own laws, their own customs, right? Every nation has that. Muhammad did it for the Arabs. Before Muhammad, the Arabs were scattered and divided and worshiping 400 different gods. Muhammad, with the help of his wife Fatima and her money and the weapons that her money afforded them, was able to give the Arabs, man, unity and to give them might. And now look at the Arabs today controlling most of the oil on the planet Earth, man. Muhammad is the savior for the Arabs. Well, who's the savior for the blacks and Latinos struggling and dying and being unalived in the ghettos every day, starving every day in the prisons and at the border, begging for the U.S. to let them in the country simply so they can pick vegetables for 90 cents a bag, 90 cents per, I think, 90 pounds. I think that's how much the immigrants get paid to work in the fields of America. So all of us can, have bananas that go rotten in a day. So all of us can have cheap bananas and cheap strawberries and cheap fruit that you throw away that ends up in a dumpster behind a restaurant. Food is cheap because the Mexicans are in the fields almost working for free. 90 cents, I believe they make for 90 pounds of vegetables. That's why food is so plentiful in America, because the chosen people of God are in bondage in the fields of California. So who's their savior? Who do they have? Here's the good news of the Bible. Here is the gospel. Jesus Christ is the savior of the Mexicans. Jesus Christ is the savior for the Hondurans, the Guatemalans, the Haitians. Jesus Christ was sent for none but them. Everyone understands. Give me two more precepts. What you have, Warrior?
John chapter 4, verse 22.
Let your diet read. I mean, can they hear him in the back of your diet? Okay. Now we're going light of Christ. We're going to John 4 and 22. You got it?
It's the book of John, chapter 4, verse 22. Ye worship, ye know
I think the
not.
mic. Read it one more time.
Ye worship, ye know not what.
You worship, you know not what. This is another daughter of our oppressor who was at a well with Jesus Christ, asking him, trying to really proposition our king, trying to proposition him, and he read right through it. And she said, listen, we worship at this mountain. She tried to include herself with the children of Israel, even though she wasn't a child of Israel. There are oppressors that do that today. They think that they're us. They think they're the chosen people of God. They think the holy mountains of Israel belong to them. This is what Jesus Christ told this particular kind of person. Go ahead.
We know what we worship.
We know what we worship. You worship and you know not what. You don't know what you're worshiping when you're not black and Hispanic, and yet you claim to worship the God of the Bible, the God of Israel. You don't know what you worship, but we know what we worship. Go ahead.
For salvation is of the Jews. For salvation is of the Jews.
Read it again.
For salvation is of the Jews.
Light of Christ, I don't know what else I can do for you, warrior. This information, you could Google it. You don't have to sit up in the library in New York like I had to. Sit up in the libraries of Philadelphia. You don't have to do that. You can Google this. Jesus Christ said salvation is of the Jews. What color is that written in?
Red.
That's written in red, light of Christ. That means Jesus Christ said it. Salvation is of the Jews. You're worshiping the God of Israel. You don't even know what you're worshiping. You're making a mistake worshiping our God. You're making a mistake worshiping our God. If you knew our God, you would not worship him. You would not. Anyone who is not black or Latino who is worshiping the God of Israel, man, you don't even understand our God. You don't know him. You don't know what you're worshiping. We know what we're worshiping, for salvation is of the Jews. Everybody understands. That's all I can give you, light of Christ. I got 100 more of those, but the officers can give you the precepts as you keep coming to class. All right, warrior, please.
On Saturday, we had a brother ask a question. I have a follow-up question if you want to answer it too. He said, "Will we ever see God?" That was his question.
When you say see God, you mean see him like we are here today, like you and I. No, you will never see God like that, but you can see God in a far more important way. That you will. That give me the precept on that first. All you got to look up is see God. That's it. Many people, I've been asked that question throughout my career, serving at the pleasure of Commanding General Yahanna. Many people want to see God physically like you see a man. Why? Because so many of our people, okay, you really don't understand things unless, you know, you can eat them and touch them and see them. You don't really believe, right? And I completely understand that. I understand, right? That's not a problem. However, here is the problem. The way that you are going to see him is far more powerful than actually seeing God himself with your eyes. That's an amazing thing, but it won't change you the way that really seeing God can change you. Everyone understands? You're about to. Go ahead, warrior.
That's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 8. Blessed are the pure in heart.
Blessed are the what?
Pure in heart.
Blessed are the pure in heart. Keep going.
For they shall see God.
Keep reading.
Verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers.
Keep going.
For they shall be called the children of God.
Now, wait a minute. The first one said the pure in heart shall see God. What does it mean to be pure in heart? Who knows? First of all, what's your heart? In the Bible, the heart, your heart is your mind. You know, like if I say I have the law in my heart, I love you with all my heart. That means that all of my mind is devoted to loving you. There's not a place in my thoughts where I don't love you. That's what loving you with all my heart means. Because, of course, your physical heart cannot feel emotions. It pumps blood throughout your body. But your mind is where you love, is where you give, is where you devote yourself to a thing, right? So the Most High God said that the pure in heart shall see God. What does it mean to be pure in your mind? Who wants to give it a shot? Go ahead.
So follow the law, statutes, and commandments, and have it in your heart, have it in your
Have it in your mind. Give him a hand. That's exactly what it means. Meaning that your mind is devoted to pleasing God, not yourself. That's pure. And that's rare because so many people that will never get the opportunity to see God, their entire life is about serving themselves. That's what they care about. They care about their own lust, their own pleasure, their own desires, the riches that they can see and want day and night, the desires that they yearn for day and night. Their heart, their mind isn't devoted, focused on giving the Most High God what he wants. But if you were like that, oh, you would see God. Now, just remember that example. And now I'll take you to the next example. The context will explain it to you. There's many more precepts that talk about see God. They mean all of the same thing. If you want, you can also pull those if you can do it fast. All right, go ahead.
Verse 10. Blessed are they which are persecuted.
Anytime you get a chance, Warrior, I'll take that thing from you. Listen, if it's not here, don't worry about it. Go ahead.
Blessed are they which are persecuted.
No, read the one after see God. Read that again.
Verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers.
Blessed are the peacemakers. Keep going.
For they shall be called the children of God.
They shall be called the children of God. What does it mean to be a peacemaker? It's a whole different kind of peace than the one you think about being black and Latino. You, of course, think peace is, the Crips and the Bloods having a summit, or the Russians and the Americans finally sitting down and working out their differences. That's not the war that's destroying this planet. The war between the Crips and the Bloods is not the dominant war on the earth. There's a war that's bigger than the war between Russia and America, bigger than the war between the East and the West and the North and the South. It's the real reason for all war, the real reason for all sickness, the reason for the COVID virus, the reason for plagues throughout time. There's a war between God and the children of God. There's a war between them, and we're losing. We're losing that war. We're defiant to him, and because we defy him, he punishes us. That's the war. That's what Jesus Christ came to bring peace to. That's why he is the peaceable one, because he finally ends this conflict that started back when Adam decided to reject the Most High God. When he decided to go to war with him, he decided to defy him. And then the Most High God had to give his answer to what Adam did. And that's the way it's been back and forth. We defy God, he punishes. We attack him with our disobedience. He returns the attack with a curse. Jesus Christ came to bring peace on earth, to bring peace, the only kind of peace that really matters, and that's the peace between the Israelites and God. Well, if you can do that, what will happen? You will be called the peaceable one. Called the peaceable one by who? Read that part one more time, then I'll let the brother read his. Read it again.
Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of
Salakia,
God.
they will be called the children of God. Who will call them the children of God? Go ahead. You're on it. You're on it. Meaning, what are you going to say, warrior?
The earth.
The earth is good. The direct answer is the Most High God will declare that they're the children of God, and everybody calls you the child of God. Everyone knows that you are the chosen people of God. Why? Because there's no more conflict between you and God. And if he stops fighting you, then he declares that blacks and Latinos are the children of God. But to do that, you'll have to make peace with him. Keep going.
Verse 10. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake. For theirs is a For theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
My God, and when you're persecuted for righteousness' sake, then now the kingdom of heaven belongs to you. Now you get to inherit the kingdom that Jesus Christ will rule over. So now I gave you a few clues, right? So now tell me, what does it mean when the Bible says you shall see God? You got to just think about the examples I gave you. I'm gonna give you a hint, but it might give it to you. Think about the kind of life that would be to live. Juxtapose that to the life you're living now, right? So think of the life you're living now, and then think of a life where you're called the chosen people of God. Think of that kind of life, and then now you know what seeing God is. Please, officer.
It's like I'm thinking like us being in our seats and like ruling the earth. Like that's like seeing God because we're ruling it the right way.
Give him a hand. Let me give you the precept to explain it to you. Give me, and the Lord shall wink at thy destruction. You want to find this precept? The Most High shall wink at your destruction. I believe they use the word wink. Right? You can also find where the Lord said he will turn his back on us. Seeing God means that instead of us being out of his sight and us having no hope, us having no way to feed our children or to survive, now we see God. Meaning now it's like, yes, God is here. Now I see. Seeing God is very similar to, it's very similar to you being in a burning building. You're in a burning building and the smoke is thick and it's terrible. And all of a sudden, someone comes in with a ladder, picks you up, takes you out of the burning building. I'm fine, warrior. Takes you out of the burning building, brings you on to the outside the building, gives you air and water and a blanket. What would be the first thing you would say? Off the top of your head, quick. You would say, thank God. Why not thank the firemen? Why didn't you say that? Of course, you wouldn't, right? A fireman carries you out of a burning building, brings you outside, puts a blanket on you. The minute you get out the burning building, you would say, the water Yahweh, the Hashem Yahweh Shai. Thank God. If you hit the lottery, for $100 million. Boy, oh boy, you get that ticket. You would say, the water Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Why not thank the lottery commission? Why not thank the numbers? Why would you thank God? It's coming to you now, is it not? Because you know that being blessed is seeing God. Being blessed, we're finally, instead of you losing all the time, you're winning. The Most High is in this. God is involved in this. What happened? Oh man, they gave me a cancer diagnosis. But then I went down to the hospital, man, they checked me again. They don't see anything. That ain't nothing but the Lord. Now I see him. Now he's here. Because usually I don't see him. Usually I'm struggling alone. I'm fighting my way up a sandy hill alone. Usually I'm fighting at the wind. Usually I'm swinging at a whirlwind constantly, fighting at a storm. All of a sudden, the sun comes out. That's the Most High. That's seeing God. Think about when you would say that phrase. That's God. That's the Most High. The Lord did that. Now you see him. Being blessed by God is seeing God. And that's far more important than you having some science fiction moment, which is what you're looking for. You're looking for a science fiction moment from watching those movies. Like seeing the aliens. You want to see a giant flying saucer. Because then you would get off of weed, I'm sure, right? Come to find out, you would not. If you saw a flying saucer, you would continue to get high. It's all right. They do it all the time. You'd get high more. But if, my God, what if the Most High just blessed everything you do instead of cursing everything you do? What if you went to go do a thing and it worked? It succeeded. It happened. It's nothing but the Most High. The Lord did that. Now I see him. That's the way you want to see him, warrior. That's the way you want to do it. You understand? You die.
I will say, sir, if you bring out so heavy, that's why Christ said, I believe it's in Matthew 16 chapter, where he said, this wicked generation will fire a sign of wonder.
That's correct. And that's also why Christ said, when you have seen me, you have seen the Father.
Right.
That's why he meant that. I'm here to deliver you from oppression.
Right.
You still looking to see God? You're seeing him. That's why I'm here. I never sinned, but I'm about to be unalived for your sins. The Most High did it. Everybody understands. Next. Took a long time with that tonic water. He's making it fresh tonic. Give him a second. No rush. I'm a patient man. I mean, there's no big deal. Go ahead. Next.
Sir. From Officer Kawan. Officer Kawan said, Shalom, sir. My question is in 2 Samuel 13, the 13th chapter, sir.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, he said, why didn't King David do something? He said, why didn't Amon receive any judgment for forcing his sister Tamar to sleep with him? Why didn't King David do anything about it?
Okay, you got to remind me of that. Okay, I think I remember it, and I remember that's a precept you can pull to prove that assaulting a woman is unlawful. I know the precept is right there, but I don't recall what David said about it. If you can find that, you can pull it to me. If you're wondering if you're allowed to assault a woman, you can't. If that's what this question is about. A lot of you're incels. The brother was telling me about incels. He was breaking that down to me. You're an incel, which just means you can't get any. That's you. Incels have always been around. A brother who cannot get a woman. Okay, it's not a brand new phenomenon. It's been around for a long time. Usually a brother that can't get a woman, of course, he reverts to violence because that he can do. And then, of course, he doesn't have to ask the woman. That's also the attraction to children. When people assault children, it doesn't matter whether the child is a boy or a girl. That's irrelevant. What matters is that they're a child because children cannot say no. And that is what they're attracted to. They're attracted to a thing that has no choice. It has to do what you want. And so many people, they get an attraction to children or they get some attraction to assaulting women because they cannot seduce a woman. In the Israelite school of UPK, of course, we can teach you how to seduce a woman. It's our specialty. It's something we can teach you to do. All right. You don't have to assault women to get a woman, and then you're going to prison, and now you're the woman. Everybody understands. All right. I'm fine, warrior. Throughout. All right. This I don't recall what David said. I can find it. Let me just pull the precept about what she said. Do not force me, for it is like unaliving to force me. I'll pull that precept for you, and maybe that answers your question. All right. I got to move on with this up. Let's find it quickly, all right? Oh, you don't know where it is. Salakia. It's just say you look. I think you're looking for "do not force me." The word "force." I'm pretty sure it's right there. All right. What else do we have on deck? Any other questions? Go ahead.
Super the one Yahala asked, how do we prove that Christ was Melchizedek and his other appearances was Isaac?
Okay, to prove he's Melchizedek, you want to go to the appearance of Melchizedek in Genesis. You want to go there, and you want to go to Hebrews, the 7th chapter. It'll virtually say it for the people who are not completely ignorant and hard-headed. It virtually says he's Melchizedek, all right? In Hebrews, the 7th chapter, and in Genesis, where Melchizedek appeared. You might even you can quickly, if you're at a camp or you don't have time, go straight to Hebrews, the 7th chapter. When Paul said, you are priests after the order of Melchizedek. All right? That should be enough for you, but there's more up and down that chapter of Hebrews, the 7th chapter. I would go there. Where was the other one he asked for? He said Melchizedek and who else? Isaac. Oh, what's the one for? Oh, Isaac, you want to go for the son of Abraham. Matthew 1:1. You go to Matthew 1:1 for Isaac. Matthew 1:1. Good to go. And for Melchizedek, you go to Hebrews, the 7th chapter. All right, read over it. If you can't find it, then just ask me again. I'll give it to you right here in class. But you should see it right there. Give me the next question.
Officer Sakan and Shalom Alawan. If you see fit, may I get a breakdown of Luke 9 and 49 and 50?
No problem, Sakan. That's an honorable. He asked that question in an honorable fashion. Give him a hand. All right. So he wants me to break down what again?
Luke chapter 9, verse 49 and 50.
Luke 9 and 49 to 50. I'll take it when you're ready.
The book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 49. And John answered and said, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name, and we forbade him.
So this is when Christ sent the disciples out to teach, I believe twice, before he was taken by our enemies and then rose again from the dead, right? This is one time. This is the first time he sent them out. And so as they were out, they came back to give their report, just like you come back from a camp or from an operation and you give report. So as they came back, they reported that they went and saw people casting out devils in his name, in the name of Christ. And they stopped them from doing it, right? Meaning, imagine you going to camp and you seeing a fake Israelite group. That's the scenario. That's the exact scenario. Fake Israelites are not with Christ. They're not with him. If you want, they'll show you, because they'll tell you that this precept is referring to them. I've had it happen many times. They'll go, see, they saw people casting out devils who weren't with him, and Christ said this to them, referring to themselves as the ones who are not with Christ. Well, in the UPK, you're the ones with Christ. You're Peter and John and Andrew. You're with Christ. As you're out teaching, you might see a fake Israelite group, a purple pig, or one of these no-name Israelite groups out teaching on the street, right? And you might want to go over there and stop them from teaching. You might see the purple pigs. You might want to go upside their head or do something or harm them in some way. You should not do things like that. All right? You shouldn't do things like that. They went and stopped them from teaching. That's what they did. They saw the fake Israelites, and they went over and they gangstered all up on them real tight and nice and made them stop teaching. And then they went and reported it to Jesus Christ that they did it. Everybody understands? Go ahead.
Because he followed not with us.
Also, for your precept, I need you to do this. I need you to get, he that is not with me is against me. All right? Meaning we stop them from teaching because they follow not with us. Just like the UPK. They're not with us, but they're out casting out demons in the name of Christ, in the name of Yahushua. But they're not in the UPK, but yet they're talking about Yahushua and casting out demons in the name of Yahushua, and they're not even in the UPK. So we stopped them. We went up on them, brother, and pressed them, and they stopped teaching because they were not with us. Keep going.
And Jesus said unto him, forbid him not.
Read that again.
Forbid him not.
Read it again.
Forbid him not.
Jesus said to them, don't stop them from teaching. Don't do that. You see a fake Israelite group, man, treat them just the same way you would treat Sunday morning and the Christians are in there lying. Who cares? You don't stop a Christian from teaching. You don't do that. You don't stop the Million Man March. You don't stop the March on Washington with Martin Luther King. You don't stop Christians from banging tambourines and keeping everybody all getting them up too damn early on Sunday. You don't do that. You leave them alone. Do the same thing to a fake Israelite. Leave them alone. Forbid them not. Here's the reason. Keep going.
For he that is not against us is for us.
For he that is not against us is for us. Now, why don't you stop Christians from teaching in churches? Let's let an officer answer this online or in the room. You know, of course, the Israelites, the UPK, the Israelite School of UPK, does not stop Christians. You know, if you see what's the women out there that love to give out the books? Little old ladies. Jehovah's Witnesses. If you see Jehovah's Witnesses, you never go, what the hell you doing on this block? Get out of here bringing those books, Watchtower books around here. If you see a revival on a street corner where they're beating tambourines, someone in the UPK would never go over to those women and say, put down that damn tambourine. What are y'all doing around here? We would never do that. But yet some of us want to stop Israelite groups from having some awful speaking on the street corner. Why don't you stop Christians from teaching? They're both lying. So why don't you stop Christians? If you can answer this, then you'll get the answer to why Christ said and what he meant when he said, who is not against us is for us. Give it a shot. Any word on that, Tonic? Or that Tonic? No, I'm having some problems with it. Go ahead. It's all right. You have an issue? Go ahead. Come on. Go ahead. Gotcha. Okay, no problem. No sweat. All right. Anyone online trying to answer it? But soon I got to give you the answer. All right. He that is not against us is for us. Now, this might help you. When fake Israelites read this, you know what they think? They think that we're all together. They think that Christ is saying, whoever is not against us is for us, meaning we're all together. Because we're not against each other, which means we're for each other. They think for each other means you actively support one another. That's not what this is talking about. To make you understand, I'll read this precept. All right? Give me the one I asked for a minute ago. Nice and loud.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, and verse 30.
Mm-hmm.
He that is not with me is against me.
Hold up now. This is what color is this written in?
Red, sir.
This is written in red. Read one verse above it.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 29. Or else how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man?
You get that. Keep going.
And then he will spoil his house.
Keep going.
Verse 30. He that is not with me is against me.
He that is not with me is against me. Now that would sound to you like a contradiction. Because right here he said, who is not against us is for us. But right here he's saying, who is not with me is against me. It's right here in front of you. Is this a contradiction? You know it's not. You know it is not. So what does it mean then? What does it mean? Let's make this. This is very simple. If you're not with Christ, you're against him. That's him. That's One West. That's how we think. The purple pigs are against Christ, which means they're against us. We're not with each other. We don't have friends with fake Israelite groups. We would never have a unity camp with the purple pigs or some old, acronym group that you see on the internet. We're not with them. We don't support them. We don't help them. Done. That's simple enough. And everybody knows that, right? But also, we do not forbid them to teach, because them teaching helps us. I just gave it to you by accident. Helps us. I'll give it to you now. Let me show you what helps us. Show me swallowing up here if you could. Let me show you something that's helpful. What if we stop Christians from teaching? What if we said, TD Jake, don't you go in there on Sunday and don't do your sermon? Then we would have never gotten the swallowing sermon. You want Christians to preach. You want it to happen. Then we're going to play the video in class that Monday. You want Muslims to talk. You want Christians to talk. You want fake Israelites to talk too. If the purple pigs didn't do speakings, how will we know who Big Frida is? How will we be able to bring their speakings and put it up on a TV screen and show how LGBT sensitive the purple pigs are? We need them to make tapes. Why? Blow my mind with the answer. It helps us. It's for us. It's good for us that Christians do sermons. It's good for us that fake Israelites go out and speakings. There was a group years ago, they're gone now, that did a speaking and said that it was right according to God to assault a woman in an intimate way. They said God wanted you to do it. That was their speaking. We got it and played it and showed everybody the speaking. Now they're gone. Do you understand? You had your hand up. Go ahead.
If I could, them other fake Israelite groups and growing up inside of the Christian church showed me that this definitely wasn't true. Because once you analyze what they were saying and what y'all was saying and what y'all was doing, and that y'all and the Galatians, I'm saying y'all.
I know what you mean.
We was
Of
doing,
course.
you know what I'm saying? But I look at everything I was school, like, they're right. Y'all made something fake, and then you put your own, whatever wrong with y'all, whatever spirit, you put that on it, and then you push that out like that's what it was. Like now we know that the police is just, you know, whether it's COINTELPRO or just, you know, Nate Stevens, you know what I'm saying? It's just people, it's recognized people.
Forget about it.
The other people, they're all white. Out in the next one, and like it's all Edomites up there. You see what I'm saying? In the front.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there looking like, nah, this ain't right. I'm mad at the cat in the back, destroyed him. I'm the only one in there and all black. I'm like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. I gotta go to UPK. I just trying to go somewhere.
I understand. I know how it is. Give him a hand. I know how it is. And you said the perfect phrase to understand this precept when you said, I examined what they were saying. I examined what they were saying. Well, if we stop them from talking, how would you examine what they're saying? You want fake Israelites to talk. It's going to help the UPK. You want TD Jakes to talk. Let him talk. Go ahead, make a sermon. Do it. Go talk, Purple Pigs. Make a speech. Go. It's going to help us in the end.
So basically, like, us not trying to stop them, is basically because they end up exposing themselves.
Give her a hand. That was very eloquently said. That's correct. By talking, they end up exposing themselves. So Jesus Christ is saying, man, don't worry about that. I'll lay it down nice and flat for you in 1 second. Play this video real fast just because it's nice to play, right? I got another TD Jakes tape. I love it. The pause I love. Struggle. Should I say it? It's in me to say it. I have to say it. Got to say it. He could not. They declare their sin as Sodom. He could not hide it. He know he shouldn't have said that. He was struggling like they would have been. Come on, TD, don't say it. They would have been, oh, I shouldn't say this. Oh, man. They would have, I got swallowed. He couldn't stop himself. Don't stop that. Let that happen. Let it happen. Let fake Israelites talk. Let them make speeches in camps. It only helps us. They reveal themselves the more that they teach. Christ said, beware of the Sadducee and Pharisee, for beware of the leaven of the Pharisee, which is hypocrisy. If you don't let someone talk, how will you know they're a hypocrite? You got to let them talk. So then you can look at their actions and know that they're hypocrites. Give me the end of this precept, and that should lay it down flat for you, all right? Read right from where we are right now.
And he that gathereth not with me.
No, not that. Read that one more time.
And he that gathereth not with me, scattereth abroad.
Jesus Christ said, if you're not with me, you're against me. And he that does not gather with me scatters abroad. Meaning, if you're not gathering with him, you're really dividing. You're really scattering if you're not with him. So that's how he thinks. He doesn't think like the people who are not with him, who are not part of the 12 disciples, are actually with him in spirit. He doesn't think that. He knows that they're really scattering the flock. That's what they're doing. So why did he say this? He said this because them talking reveals who they are. Let them talk. It helps us. Now read the other one you had, the one the brother asked the question about. It's in John or something, right? But tell us where his question was again about he saw them teaching who were not with us. You got it. Tell them where it is. Luke 29, is that what you said? Luke 49, go ahead. Go ahead, please. Luke 9 and 49.
This is Luke chapter 9, verse 49. And John answered and said, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name, and we forbade it, because he followed not with us. Verse 50. And Jesus said unto him, Forbid him not, for he that is not with, forbid him not, for he that is not against us is for us.
What does it mean to be not against us? They're not stopping us from teaching. Now, if the purple pigs try to stop us from teaching, we're going to have a problem. And they know that already. We don't have that. You see the UPK out on the street corner teaching, you see us at an operation, do not try to stop us from teaching. Then we have to stop you from teaching. Everybody gets that? I pray so. All right. But if you're not stopping us, if you're not physically trying to stop us from teaching, we're not going to stop you from teaching, because we know that you teaching helps us. Everybody understands. Go ahead.
Verse 51.
Now here's the part you need that lays the whole thing down nice and flat for you. This is the next verse. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when the time was come.
No, is it right here? No, it's another account where Christ said, furthermore, there is none that speak evil against me that can cast out a demon in my name. That's the last part you need. All right. There is none that shall speak a small thing against me that shall cast out a demon in my name. For time's sake, I might have to just break that one. You know where it is? Go ahead.
Mark 9, book of Mark chapter 9 and verse 39. But Jesus said, Forbid him not, for there is no man which shall do a miracle in my name that can lightly speak evil of me.
What's the other reason that you shouldn't worry about them casting out demons in the name of Christ? Christ said, there is no man that shall speak evil of me and shall cast out a demon in my name. You don't have to worry about the purple pigs casting out demons in the name of Christ, because they speak evil of Christ. They hate him. They cannot stand him. Just listen to him and you'll know what I'm talking about. Just watch their videos. Do it. Type it in. Put purple into your brain. Think purple. And one of those LGBT people will appear, and listen to him talk. He can't stand Christ at all. I saw a video recently the brother sent me where they said Christ was can I say the continent where it's like a zoo? You know, there's a place that's a zoo. It's a continent full of flies. They said Christ was one of them. The brother sent it to me. I think I have it in my phone. They said he was one of those people covered in flies. That's an evil thing to say about Christ. You think they're going to cast out a demon in the name of Christ? Don't even worry about it. They're not doing any miracles. Do you understand? Let them try. You think I would stop a Christian from smacking someone on the forehead? No. Why? Because they're not going to do any miracles. So smack everybody on the forehead. It just helps us. And I know for a fact there has never been one miracle done in the Christian church. Ever. Not one. And there won't be one done by the purple pigs or the acronym Israelites or whatever you're looking for. Don't even worry about it. You go out and teach, brother. You go out. Let everyone examine what you say. You do that. Put them to the taste test. That's all. Put what we do and what they do to the tests. Come taste it and see. Everyone understands. All right. You good to go with this? Somebody had their hand up over here. Seems like okay. Go ahead. Yes. I'm gonna find it for you. Brother sent it to me like 2 weeks ago. Give me the next question quickly, please.
From Officer Kalataza. He said, Shalom, Lord Christ, Salak. Sir, people use Exodus 21 and 26 to say that we believe in hitting women. Can I get the breakdown?
All right, go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 26. And if a man smite the eye of his servant, or the eye of his maid, that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake.
I gotta catch up with you. Where you at?
Exodus chapter 21, verse 26.
Stand by. Exodus 21. That's Exodus 21 and what?
And verse 26, sir.
Exodus 21 and 26. I see. 1 second. I got you. All right, you just don't understand the context, warrior, or whoever asked the question, the Christian. You want to start with this 20, go to 24.
Okay. This is the book of Exodus 21 and verse 24. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth.
Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. The eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth is a concept in the law, which is where justice comes from. The whole idea of justice, of equity, comes from an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Meaning, if you punch my eye or stab my eye, then you get. If you assault me in the eye, then you get assaulted in your eye. The problem is, or the difference is, the second assault is not assault. It's justice. Can I give you the perfect example? If I take a brother, and can I say what you do when you take somebody against their will and hide them somewhere? No, if you hide them, you take them and you hide them, and you ask somebody for money to get them back. If you ransom somebody, you take them and you ransom them. What is that called? You can't say what it's called, right? They can't say it. Everybody knows what that's called, correct? Trafficking. You can say trafficking. What's the difference between trafficking and the other word? Okay. If you traffic someone, that is a crime. You take them, you put them somewhere, you lock them up in a room, and you say to his family, you cannot get your loved one out unless you give me money, right? Then the police catch you because you've trafficked. That's a crime. What do the police do with you? They put you in a room and they lock the door and they tell your family his bail is this much money. The police are that K-word people, trafficking people, and you got to pay to get out. But no one calls that trafficking because it's justice. Do you understand? It's justice. The first one was trafficking. The second one is fair. You took this woman or took this man and hid him away and locked him up, and now I'm putting you away and locking you up. That's not trafficking, that's justice. The first one is the crime, even though it's the exact same action. The second one is not a crime. If you unalive someone, that's the M word in the Bible. But when you're found and you're unalive, that's not the M word. That's not M. That's justice. Do you get the point? That concept comes from eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. You just need that concept to understand being fair, which is why our oppressor has to pay. Because if he doesn't pay, then we do not receive justice for what happened to us. That's why our oppressor has to pay as a nation. Why? Because he hurt us as a nation. People will always say, aren't there any good oppressors? Absolutely. There are good oppressors, man. You're going to meet some in your life. You might go into a courtroom and meet a good oppressor's daughter who's a judge. Meet a good lawyer. I've met excellent oppressors in my life. Good people. They still have to pay. Why? Because there were good people on the slave ships. Good, honorable people in ghettos. Good, decent, family-loving people on the slave ships. See, our crime, the crime was committed against the nation. Good people in our nation, bad people in our nation. All of us had the crime committed against us. So eye for an eye would mean all of them have to pay, even if they're good, even if they love their mamas, even if they have black friends, they would all have to pay. Everybody gets the concept. Now, as long as you understand that, read down. Go ahead.
Okay. This is the book of Exodus 21, verse 24.
Mhm.
Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot.
For time's sake, skip right to the question.
Verse 26.
Mhm.
And if a man smite the eye of his servant,
Mhm.
or the eye of his maid,
Mhm.
that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake.
Meaning this, the brother is thinking that maid means like his wife or something. Maid means she works for him. Remember, it said servant or his maid. What's the male version of a maid? The servant. What's the female version of the servant? A maid. So imagine you got a servant who's a man and a servant who's a woman, right? And you go and you hit your servant in the eye. Just like, oh, this is what I meant to bring out today. I might have to do it in New York. I'll be in New York again, Lord allow, this Thursday. There's a law I would like to show you, a law during slavery. There was a law of unaliving a slave accidentally. And there was a law passed because so many oppressors' daughters were unaliving their maids. It happened so much that they had to pass a law making it legal to unalive a slave if the unaliving happened in the process of correcting them. This is a real law made because so many oppressors' daughters got so emotional when they were beating a slave and would accidentally unalive them. I'll bring it out this Thursday. Well, this is that scenario. You're beating a slave, you hit him in the eye, and you take out their eye, or you're beating your female slave, which is a maid. Everybody knows they still use that term today. And you black her eye, take her eye out. That slave gets to go free. They're not your slaves anymore. So whoever is telling you this means you can beat women, it's actually a precept telling you you cannot harm your slave. It's right here. If you hurt that slave's eye, that slave is free for the sake of the eye, which is what it just said. Read it one more time.
It says, and if he smite out his manservant's tooth or his maidservant's tooth, he shall let him go free.
I don't know why a Christian would pull this. I don't understand what you're reading when you read the Bible. Maybe you're just someone. A lot of you Christians had a can I say drunk? I guess a father who has alcoholism. Them preachers, them deacons, whew, they like to have a drink. And when they drink, they assault their wife. That same deacon that comes to that church, he beating that tambourine, he beating it. When he leaves that church, he goes home and he physically assaults that woman to death. And the kids see it all the time. Those Christians give the worst beatings. Who they give it? I mean, them extension cords. The tribe of Judah is in this room. I ain't got to tell y'all, but I know. I'm one of you, and I know. The extension cord, the getting in the bathtub and getting wet, that's, y'all know about that? Oh, you're the tribe of Judah. What am I saying? You know all about it. Where did that come from? like, who thought of that? I know who thought of that. Our oppressor thought of that. Sister, go ahead. You was about to say that. You didn't give her a hand. I should have known who it came from. I wonder, damn, where you get this from? I should have known who you got it from. Getting in the bathtub, getting you wet, as if it don't hurt already. I mean, damn, the thing is terrible already. Somehow it ain't terrible enough. Well, this precept is telling you, if you take out that slave's eye, he's not your slave anymore. If you take out your maid's eye, she's not your maid anymore. Can I move on? All right, go ahead.
I had a question.
Go ahead.
Teacher's sake
Mhm.
function.
Mhm.
I had a question for teacher's sake and for function's sake.
Mhm.
The school been around for long, starting to have kids that are growing up.
Oh, yeah.
And getting to the age where they get married.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So as far as like dowry go,
Mhm.
and even the work, the concept.
Yeah.
Could you give like a breakdown on that so I could
Work it out.
Be able to teach it to people that's not in the school and
Sure.
just to understand it better, even like what would be appropriate for a dowry and the purpose of it.
Okay, well, you want to think of it just like, I'm saying this in this way so you could understand it. Think of it like selling him a car, right? There's no one set price to selling a car. The condition of the car matters. The age of the car matters. You understand? The person you're selling it to matters. You might want to give him a break. You know, so you look at it's a negotiation. Just think of it like you're selling something, except you're selling the most precious thing in the world that you have. You want to think of it like that, which is your daughter. And now she is going to be his daughter. She's going to call him daddy. Do you understand? He is going to be her Lord. And she's not going to be with you anymore. You're going to lose your baby. And so you're selling something, but you're selling something that's the most precious thing that you have. So it's a negotiation nonetheless with the brother. Just like that. You might look at your daughter and go, hell, my daughter ain't so hot. My daughter, you know, I know my daughter. I know whoever take off my hands and give me a bottle of scotch, I'm going to move the hell on. You get doers. You give me some doers, I'm gone. Take her. Get her the hell out of this house. She on her second kid. I done took care of 2 of her kids in this house. You want them? Man, listen, give me something that's nothing. Give me anything. Give me a good pound. You know, give me a real strong. Give me a solid ass salute, and you can take her the hell out of here tonight before she's pregnant again, right? Or you might say, "Oh man, I raised this girl here. This thing here. Ooh, you know, it's gonna cost you." You understand? It's a negotiation. You work it out. You might look at him and you might go, "Damn, my daughter is excellent, but I really want to give her to him because this cat here is just amazing, you know, and I really want her to be with him. So I might give him a break. You know, I might not charge him what I should charge him, which will bankrupt him forever, because I really want her to marry this brother." You get my point? Is you want to just think about it like that. When the time comes, of course, in all things, you can get counsel on the matter and everything. All right, but it's a negotiation. The precepts you want to go through is when Laban did it. You familiar with that in the book of Genesis?
I'm familiar with
Yeah. He worked in essence 14 years for this woman, which really says something about him and about how he felt about her. That's a hardcore thing. You know, like he worked 7 years for her. The father, of course, went and gave him the wrong daughter because he was such an excellent man. The father on purpose wanted him to have both of his daughters because he wanted this cat to work for him. He didn't want to lose him as his employee. So he gave him the wrong daughter on purpose, knowing that the brother would work another 7 years to get the right daughter, which just says something about, was it Isaac? Not Isaac. Is it Isaac? Yeah. Isaac must have just been Jacob. Jacob just must have been, you know, such a potential son-in-law and such a help to his father-in-law. He must have been amazing. This father said, I ain't giving this cat up in 7 years. I need you. So take the wrong daughter. Oops, I gave you the wrong daughter. Hey, listen, man, work for me another 7, you get the right one. The brother did it, which also shows how much he wanted the second daughter. He really was willing to invest to get that daughter. So you get the whole concept, you know, it's a negotiation based on how much people appreciate and want the thing being sold. All right, go ahead.
I could, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking about it and you know.
The water. Go ahead.
The real value, you know what I'm saying, of a woman that has been raised correctly and brought up.
Get it back.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a priceless thing because, like you bringing out, getting the wrong woman is going to bring hell into your life. You get the right sister, it's like she can raise her by this man.
Come on, man.
Now she's such a blessing to the household. It's worth it. Where if he like, listen, I need 20,000, you do it too, because like, what are you gonna get? That's, you know what I'm saying, that type of value. Because I feel like we waste a lot of time trying to find somebody and then we 40 and, you know, 50.
You think 20,000 is something for a righteous woman in hell? 20,000, that's nothing.
Right.
That was $20,000. How fast can you go through $20,000? I could do it quick. You hear me? I could go ahead and put a hurting on $20,000. You understand? Have done it. So it's $20,000 is not a lot of money for a lifetime of having a woman in your corner to support you and love you forever. Come on, man. Come on. Yeah, You absolutely could. Now the brother might go, she ain't that hot, I'm out. That could happen. Yeah, he could say, no vacuum. For $50. Now, if he does that, forget him. You get my point? So what? Let him go do it, or who the hell knows? Just the point you want to get is it's a negotiation. It's a negotiation. You got that. You understand the breakdown. Go ahead.
If I could, I seen somebody say that it was like it also shows like your ability as a man.
What shows your ability as a man?
Like if you are able to bring a certain amount for a dowry or provide work, you know what I'm saying, for the family. I don't know. We look at it like that.
If it shows your ability, okay, I don't know. I don't know why that would be the case. Jacob.
But I was about married, I believe it does say that a man mighty work or things a lot.
No, I think he's talking about the other one. You're talking about the brother who pays the dowry. He's saying that the brother who pays the dowry, if he has 20,000, it says
that he knows how to. He'll be able to provide for her. Like he'll be able to provide for her.
That's not the case. I told you how fast you go. Having money is not an assurance of having money forever. Alexa, what percentage of lottery winners go broke?
Around 70% of lottery winners end up broke.
Yeah, I probably, think better on that concept. Okay, you're going to win $200 million and it's gone. Alexa, what percentage of NFL players go broke and bankrupt?
From Mundak.com. According to Sports Illustrated, an estimated 78% of NFL players are bankrupt or face serious financial stress within 2 years of ending
the water,
their
Alexa.
careers.
That's enough, Alexa. See, I wouldn't be carnal about this decision. Because a man is rich today, it doesn't mean he'll be rich forever. What's the flip side? Because a man is poor today, it doesn't mean he'll be poor forever. You understand, right? You good here, sis?
Punishing with the father is losing because he's losing something.
Okay, it's that it's part of the concept, but more of the concept is I guess that would be it, because if I was selling a car, I'd lose my car. If I was selling a sheep, I'd be losing my sheep. So yes, that would be a correct way to think about it. He's losing this daughter, and everything she can do for him, and having a hardworking girl around your crib is a good thing to have. You got your old strong teenage girl. My God, forget about the laundry the broad is going to do. These teenage girls can do some laundry out. They can do laundry. They're going to work out some laundry for you. Get your shirts all nice and your jeans. You got daughters, man. You got your laundry is constantly rocking and rolling. If you got cooking, some of these little girls can cook, man. They go in there and make you a sandwich, do all this stuff for you, doing the laundry, doing the family's laundry, cooking in the house, doing this, doing that, cleaning like you don't know what the hell to do. Then now this brother's going to marry her. Who in the hell is going to do this laundry? My wife? I don't know about that. Everybody understands. I don't know. She done got used to having that girl around too. So now the girl is gone, the wife looking at that pile of clothes like, my son better marry somebody and get her in here to do this goddamn laundry. You understand? So what the sister is saying is correct. You're losing something, he's gaining something. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. Go ahead.
Okay, so real quick, it's having somebody, you know what I'm saying? Because they hate the Bible, so they gonna say,
Of course.
I understand where it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm battling somebody and they trying to say, oh, in the Bible, you just sold your daughter off. Then I just pull the precepts for the type of man that you're supposed to like give it to a man to understand, and those type of things that just show that it wasn't just to just sell her off. You know what I'm saying? You still
what's he doing with his daughter? Well, this is what I would ask him. Meaning this is me getting on the offense. Right? He's saying we're selling our daughters because we take dowries. What is he doing with his? What would he say? That's what it would happen. He'd be stuck right there. He'd be, my daughter don't even ask me who she has sex with. Right? So what are you doing? So I'm taking money for it. You aren't even involved in the decision. Right? She's doing this every week with a new man. right? Your way is better than mine. It's a free country. All right. Anything else? No sweat. With that, pass the class over to Officer Mathumia, right? We taking it?
Allahu Akbar. Barak. The I.S.U.P.K security announcements, where the I.S.U.P.K start out of 1 West 125th Street, New York, group for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must give permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in 18 verse 21 and Malachi chapter 3 verses 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, Ma'asharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the teacher. Priest fund, free will, offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount for like. I'll come to holy convocations. We have Feast of Pure Rental coming up the 22nd of February. Lands on Friday, and which is the 23rd of February. And you can find this in Esther chapter 9, verses 20 through 30. And if any brother wants to become a trooper in a school to start wearing all black so like a boot, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf, and with that, man of Israel, I'm stand. Man of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Man of Israel, I'm I.S.U.P.K. Barak. Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh, Barakam. Azmatah, Sar, which means to turn and face the system. Sister Imagine, which means to stand. Man of Israel, we're going to give the sister one courtesy salute. Man of Israel, Imagine, Barak. Yahweh, Shamar, Alatham, Bashim, Yahweh, Azmatah, Bashim.